Hi, I'm here today because I am going to talk a little bit about cleaning your refrigerator, which most people have somewhat of an idea of how to clean the refrigerator, but I just want to bring up a couple things that can come up or that you want to remember to have on hand when you're ready to tackle the project. So, we recently cleaned our fridge. And so I'm going to take you through the steps of what that was. Some things you're going to want on hand. You're going to want a rag, some cleaner. You're going to make sure you want a towel because it's cold in there. So you're going to want it to dry off after you've washed it. You might need a vacuum cleaner, sometimes getting in the drawers. We had some like chunks and stuff that I just didn't want to push around. So I actually vacuumed them up first. Really helpful. And then a big garbage can nearby because there is most likely going to be something in there that is expired that you don't really need in there anymore. Maybe just been around for a long time, kind of got stuck in the back, however it might be. So those are some things you're going to need. Sometimes the recommendation, depending on your refrigerator and how much like scrubbing and cleaning actually needs to happen, might recommend you actually pulling the refrigerator out and unplugging it, like a complete shutdown of the refrigerator. We kind of did like a working version because I didn't really feel like undoing my entire refrigerator, but a couple times a year we do actually pull it out, and it actually, depending on your refrigerator, it will actually just pull out away from the wall. I don't know if you can even see on ours. Ours is in there pretty tight, but it will pull out. I'll try and set this up again. And in the back, especially if you have pets or animals, like we have 2 dogs, we have a cat, the dander and the hair, it tends to kind of get cut up, but it's really important to vacuum it out behind. So make sure all the vents are getting unclogged. It really helps for the lifespan of your refrigerator. That was something that I didn't know. My mom probably did it when we were younger, but I didn't ever pay attention. And so make sure you clean behind your refrigerator because even though it is confined back there, it can get really hairy, get really dirty. And all these girls with long hair in our house, that tends to be the case as well. So a couple things you're gonna do, now you can just see, I don't know, you can look at my refrigerator, I suppose. Everyone's refrigerator is going to be a little bit different depending on like what types of things you're going to want to keep and what kinds of things you have space for. So think about those as you're cleaning them out. Always looking for things that are expired, things that you just don't use anymore, things that you've been keeping around for a long time that say they're not expired, but they've been around for long enough that you probably shouldn't keep them. Those are things that you're going to want to toss. Don't be afraid of tossing out things as they need to be rejuvenated in the refrigerator. Now, I'm going to turn you around here. I'm going to try to anyways. Nope, it's not going to turn. So we have a drawer here, and when we cleaned this out, I ended up vacuuming inside of the drawer. We ended up moving a bunch of the food around so that it worked better in the refrigerator. Sometimes you're just going to find, I'm going to close this so it doesn't get off. Just for the time being, just so it doesn't get all dirty in there. Sorry, I said, oh, the food. So you're gonna move it around. Sorry, my mind's all over the place. So that it works well. So what we ended up doing, which you guys can figure out how you use your refrigerator, everyone's gonna be a little bit different, is I actually ended up putting some of like our salad dressings in the same area. I had tall items, made sure that they were over here. We have some egg whites, some Ninja, that sort of thing, that they need the towel space. I put our dairy items like cottage cheese and yogurt and some like feta cheese, Parmesan, those sorts of things. I kind of grouped them together so that they were in a same like grouping. Spinach and berries in one area, and then making sure that the vegetables were put properly into the vegetable drawer and that there wasn't, that was another space I had to vacuum out a little bit. There's going to be other things you're going to want to wipe down, like the gaskets around the edge of the refrigerator. If you're a go-getter this week, go ahead and tackle that freezer as well. The freezer for me can be a little bit more, it can be hard because ours is really unorganized right now. It just happens to be pretty full. We found out the kids are going to be home, so I went and bought a bunch of stuff. So right now is not an ideal time for me to clean out my freezer, but know that that's just another space. So instead what we did is I just did a light wiping down, made sure I got a bunch of the crumbs out of there. And then I also made sure that all the gaskets were cleaned, just because that's not something that we're normally attending to, and want to make sure that it stayed clean. The outside of our fridge, those are things that we are consistently wiping down and always keeping clean, so it wasn't really a focus on this one. The other thing that you will find is if you have anything that's dirty or sticky on your shelf, make sure that you clean off the bottom of the jars or containers that were in that area, because they're going to be sticky. So you're going to do all of this work getting it cleaned out and then have to go and do it again because it's going to be on the bottom of your jars. Some refrigerators are really easy to just actually take the whole shelves out and actually soak them. If you can do that, that's amazing. Ours are glass shelves, and right now it's just not very easy to do that. So I did it while I was in there. I didn't actually take the whole thing out, but that's something that you can definitely look in your manual and check out to see if that's a good fit for you or not, to make sure that you can get it extra good and clean. One thing I did do, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, is we have glass shelves. Let's see if I can even show you here. Okay, no, of course it doesn't on this one. This bottom one here, this bottom piece actually is a piece of glass, and it lifts up from inside. So I like stuck it in here and I actually lifted it up. I'm not gonna do it because there's a bunch of stuff there. I lifted up the shelf and made sure to get underneath that glass part, and that made it look so much cleaner. So a few little tips. Again, if there's any questions about other things to do or to try, or which cleaners to use, we went through our cleaners yesterday, so you should have the ones that you use kind of on hand even. It's going to be nice and handy. So show me a picture below of what you did. Sometimes it's really gratifying just to see like the end project, to see it all organized. I had my daughter do this. She's 11. She actually asked to clean the refrigerator. You know that a kid is really bored when they ask to clean the refrigerator and organize it, or that your refrigerator is really dirty. So she's like, the shelves are really dirty. I think it needs to be clean. Can I wipe it out? And I'm like, yes, you can. So she went through it for me. So don't be afraid to enlist a little bit of help. What we did end up doing, if you are asking a kid to do it, is that we kind of helped her, especially with some of the wiping down of the shelves, making sure it was done to the way that we wanted it to be done. But we also let her do one shelf at a time. So she did the bottom, and then she closed it up, let it get cold again, went into the other room, kind of chilled out for a little bit, and then about 5 minutes later she came back, and then she did the next shelf. So don't expect, I mean, unless you're going to unplug it and you're doing all the things and you have to put all your stuff in a cooler because you're going to take a really long time doing it, don't expect a kid necessarily to have the attention to detail that you're going to have. So maybe a little bit of monitoring in there, but again, don't feel shy about enlisting your kids to help you as well. So, all right, hopefully that was fun, and I am looking forward to seeing your pictures. We'll see you. Bye.